Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Now Loading Esports. We're back another week with some collegiate Overwatch action. We'll be covering Kutztown's Team 2 this evening. My name is Kanor. I'm joined again by Austin, better known as Wolves on Parade. Austin, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty well tonight. We got a little storms in the area tonight, but we'll see how things go.
Excited to see the Team 2. I haven't seen any Team 2 yet this semester. Been a little disconnected from what they've been doing. I'm loving the Kutztown meta on Team 1 right now. A lot of aggressive Reinhardt Diva compositions. I'd love to see maybe if that translates over to Team 2 here. But it's a rainy, thundery evening here in Pennsylvania. I'm hoping that none of our players lose power, myself included. So if we do go dark, I'm sure we'll be back in a minute or two. We're going to be getting started here in just a moment. Just getting all the players ready. No big Overwatch 2 news this last week. I feel like this is a reoccurring segment at the beginning of each stream. But no big Overwatch 2 news. I've been following it. Just waiting on that Overwatch League season to start in early May.
Yeah, I remember asking a couple of the Overwatch team members if they had heard anything about when Overwatch 2 was even supposed to come out. Everybody says it's supposed to be sometime in May, but nobody can nail down a specific date.
Yeah, there was I did see a theory on the main Overwatch Reddit that it'll be in beta the day that the Overwatch League starts, May 5th, because the competitive season right now ends in 64 days. That's also the same day the Overwatch League starts. So, who knows? Maybe a little bit of a conspiracy. Put on your tinfoil hat and mark your calendar here.
Maybe Overwatch 2 is gonna be just regular Overwatch.
That's a theory. I've never heard that one.
They're not gonna upgrade it at all. It's just gonna be Overwatch, just regular Overwatch, but they'll call it Overwatch 2.
You re-download the whole game.
Yeah.
You gotta do everything for it. So we're gonna be getting started this evening on Ilios Ruins, a pretty popular Widowmaker gadget pick map, but it looks like from what we're seeing on both teams tonight, apart from a bit of a monitor issue here, looks like we probably won't be seeing I might be eating my words here as Tofu is leaving the spawn here on the Widowmaker. A dive comp here from the opposing team.
Yeah, and here they come. A nice little first interaction near the point right now.
Kutztown kind of staying together here, poking them out. This Winston damage here from Lazy Turtle is going to be a lot for their supports to have to deal with. And Tofu not getting any early value on the Widowmaker means it's a lot of pressure on the rest of his team to back up. And Kutztown will be hacking and killing that lone Tracer Molt on the point there. And getting them off, getting that first capture of the night. Tofu looking for something early here. This would be huge for his team if he can find a support. But great pressure here from Kutztown, getting her off of that high ground early. Lazy Turtle might get caught out here, and he does. Seen with an early pick, and this gives the red team an opportunity to push up.
Yeah, pushing up, they definitely are. Eternal Spark going in with that self-destruct ultimate, but doesn't seem to get any picks off of that.
Linder with an incredible use of Brigida's 200 health shield there, that little paper mache shield protecting Dastardy from that bomb. A great angle from that Brig. I'm excited to see the rest of this Brig play from this player tonight.
Okay, Purple Orb and Linder go down.
Kutztown only up 2 players right now. Molt with the double sniper with his friend Tofu here, taking off angles. Both of them getting some value here and slightly turning this towards Kutztown's opponents.
In a very bad position here and just gets melted by all of the Kutztown players holding down the point.
Get into position.
Tofu, a menacing presence on this high ground. Kutztown only 4 members on point right now, 3 of which are all one-shottable. This is a dangerous position for them as long as they're out in front of her.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised to see the D.Va not going and trying to contest that a little bit more, but perhaps valuing the current positioning a little bit more.
4-man EMP from Fatal Shards there, catching the opposing team out a little bit, and that is just going to slowly give Kutztown a couple more resources that they need to edge this fight out, but not without something that they want to say. Heat getting Sunset Sloth and Joshi there, both supports for Kutztown are down, and Cena's still alive.
Scene and Purple Orb were working together right there to really try to make something happen for the opposing team, but not able to secure anything.
I will say really aggressive play from Scene there. We just need to see a little bit more early fight value of that Widowmaker pick from Tofu to make it more of a valuable pick for them. It looks like we do have a team name here, the Champagers.
Looks like Tofu's switching off to McCree. Interesting.
Yeah, it looks like we've got a bit of a 2-man team and or 3-man team and a 3-man team here for Champagers. For the excuse me, the Northeastern Champagers, Team NC. They're going to be separating themselves a little bit, right? We have the Lucio, we have the Ball, we have a Roadhog who's going to be taking off angles here. This is a very dare I say,
Gasperty is trying to pull off some sneaky stuff right here. Rolling right behind Kutztown's offensive line here, just kind of hanging out, waiting to see, and there he goes.
Kutztown loses one in the back line, but as they push up, they manage to find one of their own. This is an even fight. This is anybody's game. Kutztown is a little bit more grouped, so they may have an advantage. Sunset Sloth almost getting a boop onto their Torbjorn, but it does not come to fruition. A hacked Wrecking Ball there will mean a dead hamster on the floor as Kutztown pushes up and takes this point. One last
to get maybe a nice Roadhog hook trail, but doesn't end up landing that.
Northeastern Champagers get pushed back a little bit here, and this Torbjorn's going to be hard to get value. Kutztown's got no characters that are really going to be flanking, and so this turret isn't going to see a lot of individual value protecting the backline. I'll expect if Kutztown wins this fight here that they might change off of it, but he is relatively close to his ultimate, so we'll see.
Yeah, Joshi just came out with that huge Moira ultimate. I think we were talking about that.
Ult's kind of very slowly diced on this point here. Means that Kutztown's going to be holding this point regardless if they win or lose this fight for much longer than the Champagers probably want them to. Molt, I'm not sure how to use that ult there, but he wanted to just secure a little bit of space for his team. Kutztown jumps over that Molten Core, and the Champagers look like they might be taking a little bit of ground here, but Fatal Shards says no way.
From Fatal Shards.
And he did find a couple players.
3-1, but only manages to pick off one of the people he managed to hack.
I think if I'm Kutztown here, what I'm doing is I'm definitely still trying to contest this point, but I don't think I would want to be committing any ultimates towards it, since I don't think it's going to be valuable for them in the end game to commit those valuable abilities just for a couple more percent.
Lazy Turtle and
Lazy Turtle, the last one on the point.
Position right there, all by himself. Anomaly tried to rush in and give him a little bit of support for Kutztown to prevent the Champagers from taking that point, but just was not able to secure anything there.
Champagers getting their first couple percent here on the point. They do have a big ultimate. This Lucio beat's going to be protecting them from Anomaly's Death Blossom. Kutztown does have this Sombra sneaking around the back and looking for a target, but hasn't gone in yet. Anomaly will be pressing the button, the go button there, and Kutztown will push in with it.
Yeah, again, unfortunately not seeing much utility from that ultimate usage right there. This team fight still looks fairly even, all things considered.
Sunset Sloth does get hooked in, but does claw
Lucio
her
skate
way
around.
back up. Yeah. It was not enough for Kutztown to get that point, and now look at the ultimate economy here, right? We've got 3 ultimates on both sides, 2 tanks and 1 support ultimate on both sides, so this is going to be a longer fight. We're not going to see a lot of damage get thrown early. We're going to probably see a Diva Bomb get thrown, and we might see a whole hog here on some characters who get caught in a corner. It's going to be important for Eternal Spark to save that defense matrix for some value on eating that Roadhog ultimate. There it goes. Here comes all the ultimates at once. Eternal Spark, the only one who held on to it, and now has an opportunity to use it, maybe on this McCree ulting. Decides against it. Kutztown kind of huddled in this corner as Champ Hoggers take the lead in the percent.
Fatal Shard again with a pretty big EMP. Gets 4 picks right there. And Eternal Spark, or was that? Yeah, Eternal Spark tries to go in with the self-destruct to follow up on it.
Purple Orb, I think maybe killed 4 of the Kutztown members in that one fight. I mean, that's classic Moira, you know, I have 4 gold, what are you doing mentality there. Getting a couple of last-ditch effort touches here is Kutztown. If they can get their Reaper back on the point, they might have a chance of getting a couple kills, but it looks like he will be snuffed out. So pretty back and forth here so far. Kutztown taking Ruins on against more of a dive composition that it felt like Champ Hoggers weren't as comfortable on, and now Champ Hoggers taking that second map with some more beefy tanks and a more of a standstill kind of composition. They might be more comfortable on it. I'm excited to see what they pull out here, if they decide to keep the comfortable comp or if they decide to go back to their dive.
Looks like Dastard is swapping off to the Reinhardt here. Maybe trying to work in collaboration with Lindier with the Lucio boops and trying to get some charges off of the end of the map here on this point on Helios.
We may see a McCree, a Cassidy Ditto here. Probably going to be sitting both on the high ground above the middle of the map here. Maybe with the support, right? Maybe with their Baptiste. Actually, this is a mirror comp here.
Yeah, exactly.
I did not notice that until I saw both tracers. Was expecting maybe to see a Mei on this map, as Mei is the character that you usually play with the rest of these, but looks like the tracer may just be a backline utility pick here for both teams. Both teams are pretty close together here. A lot of fighting here between these Reinhardts.
The 2 tracers having a nice little duel in the building there. It looks like Fatal Shard manages to pick off Molt there in that interaction. And the rest of the Kutztown and Champ Hoggers crew are facing down in this little hallway of Ilios.
Yeah, Fatal Shard's really being the MVP so far on this map, taking that first 1v1 in stride and also getting that point so that Kutztown could start racking up this percent.
They're doing a pretty good job, sealing off a lot of the potential real estate from the Champ Hoggers by holding this position right now.
They did. The Champ Hoggers did have an opportunity to push up. They do have that Lucio, but they decided they're playing a little bit of a slower game here. Purple Orb sitting on the high ground with that Matrix up top. Nothing really happening from it. Kutztown kind of rolling over those tanks while that BAP was a little busy on the high ground trying to kill Kutztown himself. I think that was probably a mistake in the eyes of the Champ Hoggers, but Tofu will find Sunset Sloth. Make sure you unbind your jump next time, and maybe we won't get caught by that, but this may be an opportunity now. They may be up a player for just a second or two here. They may be able to push in here. Fight's kind of breaking out in a lot of places here. Champ Hoggers are a little bit more together than Kutztown are, and so if they press W here with this Lucio, they may be able to just run these tanks over, especially with this BAT not in a safe place.
Okay, and absolutely great placement right there, positioning I should say, from Seam getting right behind Kutztown's, defensive matrix, if you will.
Lazy Turtle slipping on a banana peel and falling clean off the map means Champagers have an opportunity here. They only really have one more fight if they decide to take this one, and they will. Sunset Sloth just probably foaming at the mouth looking at all these players sitting on the edge of the map, but not much he can do right now.
Dashi and Sunset Sloth are doing absolutely everything they can to buy themselves a little bit more time while the rest of their team makes attacks to that point.
Oku's been dealing a lot of damage to these players on Kutztown to get caught out, but it seems like his team's unable to follow up on the damage he gets. He may be playing a little bit too aggressively for his team, but if they're not catching up, then they got it.
Weirdly enough, the person closest to damage to Tofu on Kutztown's team is Lazy Turtle.
Right. Yeah. Just playing the alpha Reinhardt role, and playing more aggressive, maybe forcing more pressure on the supports on the side of the Champagers means that Kutztown could just deal more damage up front. We're going to be looking now at a replay from this last match. A Sombra EMP likely from Fatal Shards here. He did get a lot of good value out of those ults himself, but I will say I think Kutztown didn't follow up as quickly as they probably should have. We saw maybe 3-man and maybe 2 4-man EMPs, but the fights didn't immediately go to Kutztown like you'd expect with an EMP, so they may need to work a little bit on their coordination after those ultimates come in, and a little bit before, right? You need like a Lucio speed boost ready to go when you have that EMP so that your team can get in real quick. And looks like Kutztown didn't have that. Gonna be taking a quick bathroom break, but we could keep you entertained through it, I suppose. Going on Route 66 will be this next map, Austin. From what we've seen, we did see Kutztown play a very similar comp all 3 times, only swapping really out their main tank from a Reinhardt to a Winston, and occasionally to a McCree from a Reaper. So, and the Sombra pick as well. If your team Champagers, knowing that this last part of Ilios didn't go so well, are you going to stick to your guns with a comfortable sit-still kind of bunker comp? Or do you want to see more of a dive composition from them?
I would be honestly really looking for something like what happened in the last scrim we saw last week with the Kutztown and the Huskies. They did this absolutely classic strategy of just hugging that shipping container in the beginning of the map. I wonder if we're going to see something similar from the Champagers here.
That would be a great start. I'm guessing that Kutztown maybe has practiced that themselves. We'll probably see a lot of mirroring from what Team 1 does to what Team 2 does. And I'd expect maybe something like that from Kutztown on defense. But as we get into it here, we have Kutztown setting up in a bunker composition here instead of that kind of close range brawl comp that we would see up in that container.
Hanging back a little bit, looks like they might be willing to give up a little bit of real estate to the Champagers in exchange for what they might see as a more defensible position.
Right, yeah, and this composition that we're seeing right now from the Champagers is gonna have to switch if they're gonna want to get anything done at this rank. A Widowmaker and a Tracer right now, I would expect a swap maybe to at least a Pharah and one of those two. Pharah breaks this whole comp down. Actually, they are off the Bastion now. They're onto a Hanzo. I do like this pick better from Kutztown. It gives them a little bit more utility here. You know, you can move a little bit more. You have more options essentially. And Hanzo can do a similar amount of damage to a single target every couple seconds. So Here we go with some sniper duels. It's been so long. I'm excited to see what Tofu can pull off here. A lot of free space.
Fatal Shard swapping off to the Ana here.
The Ash.
Oh, Ash.
That's alright.
I always get the two sniper names mixed up.
That's alright. Tofu, speaking of sniper names, Tofu and the Widowmaker getting pulled and called out from Eternal Spark. Those long-range orbs are going to do great damage against the Widowmaker around the corner, and that's exactly what they do. Although Kutztown not really contesting the card, I think they realize they want to win the fight first. Unless that cart gets too far. You can contest the cart from that high ground if you stand on the edge, so maybe Kutztown's looking to do that.
Big dive from Scene right here, trying to get something going with Big Monkey Mode.
Big Monkey Mode's gonna find one on the side of Kutztown. That Primal Rage, just taking Anomaly out, singling him out in that backline. Great move from Scene there. Purple Orb doing his best to try to keep him up, but he is out of line of sight. And Purple Orb trying to sneak this card through. Kutztown might let this go. And it looks like they will.
Lindir was doing a great job kind of being the pocket healer for Scene there for a minute, but whatever happened, I don't know why the healing stopped coming in. He was able to get picked off. Obviously didn't cause him too much of a disruption.
Fatal Shard's forced on his back foot here. His Mercy's getting shot at. He's getting shot at. Decides to use the Bob to try to stave off some of that pressure and then move back. Kutztown really spread out here, and that's what they want to do with this comp. They don't want to be all dove at once, and so they're trying to spread out, but it's not working out for them. The sniper, Tofu, and Molt sneaking through the back. This is going to be enough damage there to find too early, but Kutztown is kind of rallying back here. Their tanks using their ultimates and trying to find a lot of damage here, and they'll find a decent amount, but it is a 2v4 now.
Joshi and Eternal Spark both in a pretty bad position here.
He may end up living. Joshi does almost get out. No, he will get caught at the last second from Scene there. Kutztown staggering themselves pretty hard here. Sunset Sloth with a resurrect that may cost Kutztown a couple extra seconds. I'm not sure that that's what they want right now.
Champogger's got an interesting offensive combination with that Hanzo Tracer, and then you got a little bit of bonus damage from Purple Orb with the Ana.
Right, maybe wanting to go for more aggressive biotic nades there to try to stave Kutztown off early. I mean, Winston plus a biotic grenade is a lot of damage that you can't heal through a shield, so let's see how Kutztown reacts to that.
Yeah, it looks like Lazy Turtle's got the Amplification Matrix on lock, although Molt sneaks around and shoots it down.
Yeah, that nano boost on a Molt means he's going to be able to stay in a little bit longer, but Kutztown's winning the fight up front with Anomaly getting a pick on an important character that gets resurrected by Lindir here. The Bob on the side of Kutztown does get taken out, but it looks like they're still just starting slowly to win this fight. This is the same thing that happened on the first point. We saw Kutztown get an early pick and they didn't push. They didn't take advantage of it, and now it's happening again. Now with these abilities back on the side of Champhoggers, they're going to be pushing up here. Nothing doing from Champhoggers though. They did commit Winston Primal Rage there, and a Pulse Bomb is on the way from Molt. He'll find Lazy Turtle, but alas, he is in that halt, that Fortify form, and will only probably take around 300 damage or 200 damage from him.
Definitely not enough to take down the Orisa.
Tofu in the backline, catching one while Dastardy...
self-destruct from Champhoggers there, getting Sunset Sloth and Anomaly with that.
And now the tanks are going to roll up here. You'll see them push up through this main area here. But that's so much damage on the Scene. He's got to get nano boosted to stay alive, and the Bob on the side of Kutztown is up again. Fatal Shards
up on the truck there, trying to maybe get some snipes with the Pilot Diva.
Kutztown is very spread out here, and the Champagers are taking advantage of it. They're taking their fights when they want to. They're taking these targets that are alone and separated from the team.
Right through to the spawn room.
Wow! Tofu getting a lot of value out of that, and proving why he's a menace on this Hanzo. It really is working out for him. Kutztown in last-ditch effort mode here, trying to get as many bodies on the point as they can at a time. Try to stall this card out for as long as they can, and it's kind of working. Eternal Spark will eat that pulse bomb, and Kutztown has breath in them once more. Eternal Spark with one chance to get a kill. He does get one, and Kutztown may still have a chance to come back here with this Doomfist. That resurrect from Lindir is great news for Champagers though. It means that they stay in the fight. They're gonna have to work on their cleanup speed here because it's not working out for them right now.
Yeah, Eternal Spark is definitely gonna need to focus on getting rid of those healers. You know, Purple Orb and Lindir just doing such a great job of helping their teammates out here.
Yeah, great. I mean, a great job right at the end there, Eternal Spark, trying to finally put pressure on Purple Orb, although it was a little late. Did get Purple Orb off that high ground. Kutztown bought probably 30 seconds there that they had no business taking. So that's just maybe a wake-up call to Champagers to work on their cleanup on the end of those fights. You want your supports to take a back seat, right? You want your close range DPS to be all over the cart. You want your main tank all over the cart, you want your off tank all over the cart, but you want that hit scan DPS. In their case, it was that Hanzo taking a back seat, right, to kind of keep an eye on the supports. It's also a lot easier, right? You'll have less things going further across your screen if you're further back, and Champagers just have to work on their anti-stall game a little bit.
Looks like Champagers are going to be adopting a very similar defensive front to Kutztown on this map.
The Echo pick from Anomaly will be pretty fun to watch, though. That sonar arrow that Tofu threw out may have given it away, and we'll see Molt on that Ashe. That's going to be scary for him. He does have the Mercy Pocket to try to keep him up and make him a little bit harder to kill, but I mean, who knows? Molt could pop off here, and Anomaly might want to switch.
Yeah, I do think this could be a good swap off though, potentially, if Anomaly can get enough utility from that flight ability.
Yeah, similar idea that we saw from Champagers on offense against a similar comp that we saw defense from Kutztown. It's kind of a let's run it back kind of scenario here. Kutztown playing something that they appear to be comfortable on. They did get a really early pick, but were unable to protect against that res from Lindir. Lindir getting so much value out of these reses. I have to mention, you know, to the fellow Mercy players out there, your work does not go unnoticed. Wow, Lazy Turtle, look at that ult percentage already. I mean, cleaving through those 4 players all at once, almost has his ultimate already, and because of all the damage he's taking, Joshi has that nano boost. He's gonna give it on to Lazy Turtle, and Lazy Turtle decides to go ape on the back line here, and there go the dominoes.
With the Primal Rage picking off many of Champagers' team members there, and allowing Kutztown to make a direct push, probably to the first point here.
Yeah, they will probably get this whole thing, as we saw no fast character swaps from Champagers. That was Kutztown's best fight this evening. Very well-disciplined play from the tanks. Great job from the supports keeping them up, and great job from the DPS keeping enough pressure on these shields that it forces a lot of work from these healers on the side of the Champagers.
Yeah, Lazy Turtle and Eternal Spark both doing a pretty good job, I would say, of getting in Champagers' space. Maybe try to distract them a little bit from the damage coming from Anomaly, trying to prevent the Ashe or perhaps the Soldier from picking her off in the air.
Asterdy getting 2 with this, and he'll find the damage he needs to take them out. That was a pretty good use of that ultimate, as it's going to close it out. And take a look at the trigger discipline from Champagers here. They kept 3 of their ultimates for this next fight. great discipline from them. They need to do this so that they can guarantee another fight, because Kutztown's coming up on 4 of their own ultimates. We're going to see probably a rotation into the cave here, if I had to guess, from this Ashe player. There it goes. Team splitting up into 3 and 3. Nope. They'll be regrouping. Probably waiting for that defense matrix to come back up so they can push through. They decided to go back to main, so a little bit of indecision here as some free time for Champ Poggers.
Soldier 76.
Anomaly coming in with that duplication ability on the soldier.
Yeah, he did. He duplicated that soldier really high. He got a nice helix rocket down, but the discipline again from Champ Poggers. They kept 2 of those ultimates that they had at the beginning of that fight. They may be too disciplined now. I feel like maybe they need to pull the trigger a little bit sooner. Overwatch is a game that you know, is all about making the first move, and if you don't, the other team will, and that's what might happen there. But despite them holding onto those ults, I mean, look at this now. We've got 4, almost 5 important ultimates here.
Yeah,
Kutztown with 2.
Just in that last interaction, Lindier again coming in clutch with those Mercy resurrections, reviving Dastardy after that last interaction.
Purple Orb taking a really bad position here. He's making Kutztown, he's forcing them to make a decision. Either you dive me, or you dive my team, and I'm safe. Kutztown decides to dive the team. He will remain safe, and now this amplification matrix is going to buy them a little bit of time here. Kutztown probably won't want to peek that.
To provide some disruption here with the Primal Rage and the Monkey Leap, but doesn't find much off of it.
Yeah, that jetpack on Winston being very, very important for his movement.
And it could be a big, okay, that could have been a big self-destruct from Eternal Spark there, but Purple Orb does a great job timing that Immortality heal, kind of just absorb all of that damage.
Yeah, no, very few ultimates in this game. Give your team as much space as a Diva Bomb, that self-destruct, forcing players to move right now, and if they don't, well, they're sent to the respawn room. So we do have Molt behind here in front of Joshi. He will get found, but
Fatal Shard swapping off to Genji to try to contest.
Joshi with an incredible sleep dart, canceling that ultimate. That was an incredible play, a hero moment there from Joshi, saving a lot of damage from his team.
And Sunset Sloth doing Resurrect on Fatal Shards to get the Genji up and running for this next offensive push.
We've seen a lot of Mercy on this map. A lot of the support lineup like desperately always trying to keep these main tanks up. Both sides just doing so much damage between tanks, and now we're going to see even more here with the switch from Dastardy onto this Roadhog. Does find an early hook on Eternal Sparks, and this is good. This is really good for the Champ Poggers. This means they can slow down this fight. They don't have a mech they have to worry about.
From Joshi there.
Yeah, Tofu will be finding that important pick onto the Sunset Sloth. Mercy there. That Resurrect will be offline for Kutztown, and now they're forced to back up. Dastardy trying his best to catch that Genji Fatal Shards, but that deflect will be saving his life there, and also saving Kutztown a couple seconds of regroup. I think they need to play this corner, and they're not doing it right now. They have to peek this corner and find an early hook or something. Dastardy may be looking for a bit of a flank here on the left side. Roadhogs do best in slight off angles because they catch people out of position, but he may be thinking, I need to protect my team here.
Fatal Shards coming in with the Dragon Blade, but doesn't find much off of it. The Bob to shoot him down.
Yeah, the Bob will stun him and throw him up and then deal the final blow. Kutztown has got to be embarrassed. I mean, that was one ultimate for 2. That Nanoblade and that Nanoblade combo just getting thrown right in the trash compactor. That is the Bob. Less time on the clock now for Kutztown. A better showing on this map from Champ Poggers so far.
Yeah, only 40 seconds left on the clock for Kutztown to make this final push. If they don't manage to make a good team fight here or somehow stall this out, they might be in a bad position here.
Anomaly with the side angle does catch one, but will trade soldiers here. Let's see if Lindier can get the res off in time. He does. Kutztown unable to because they did switch off. Kutztown's down a player.
Going on to the Lucio. I wonder if that's the best choice in this particular situation.
Molt with a little bit of an off-angle flank that will cost his life. And now Kutztown with an overtime push, and they're up one player. This is still winnable for any side here. Molt switching off to the Tracer to try to get there as quickly as he can to help his team. Maybe looking for a flank here.
The amplification matrix online. Great usage right there. Getting some boosted damage on both Purple Orb and Bastardy.
There goes that sound barrier for Kutztown, and a couple seconds of respite for the supports of Kutztown as their team will be healthy, guaranteed. Finding both players on the high ground. Fatal Shards is popping off this fight, absolutely wrecking these alone
Lindier
players.
And Purple Orb got picked off. This could be the nice final push that KU needed.
KU with the clutch factor here on these last second pushes. That overtime rope, I can guarantee you, was at the fastest it could be. And Fatal Shards finding 6 in that last fight. 6 picks on that Hanzo. A great performance from Fatal Shards there. And let's not forget a great performance from Champaggers here. Capturing that point almost 2 minutes faster than Kutztown did on that third point. We've got a pretty even scrim here. You could tell the variety in skill between the Team 1 scrims and the Team 2 scrims. You have no idea what's going to happen. We're going to go to a replay here for Fatal Shards here on Route 66. A great performance from Fatal Shards. I'm excited to see him grow as a player. He's already grown so much. And now that he's... Yeah, we've got a soldier on high ground here from him. A great position for him. Kutztown deciding on that Hanzo was a pretty good idea, I think, for them on that last point, especially. They got that first pick immediately on first point, and from there, except for a couple hiccups on second point, that Hanzo got them a lot of value. So moving over, Austin, what map do we have right now?
We are on a classic Kings Row. Again, back when I was a competitive Overwatch player, best composition to run on this map was 3 tanks and three healers. And I'm glad to see that has changed.
We went from the triple tank Reinhardt Diva Roadhog Soldier Ana Lucio combo to just ditching that soldier and going for a brig. So and now we're in the 2-2-2 mode. Looks like Afara will be leaving spawn from the Champaggers. Kutztown will have to react by playing safe, not taking too much damage early here. Molt's under a lot of pressure. He's got 2 hit scans on the side of Kutztown that are going to be shooting him almost constantly. Let's see how he can use this vertical cover here to protect himself.
Yeah, I definitely like the idea from both Anomaly and Fatal Shards in reaction, perhaps, or anticipation for that arrowhead on this map.
Lazy Turtle taking a ton of damage there early from those shots from Tofu. Dastardy kind of just making space for his team up front, kind of like a second Reinhardt right now. A bit of a slow push will mean that Molt will have that ultimate that will get shot down by Anomaly. Lindier with that quick res, like we know he does. And Scene's kind of caught out of position here. Let's see if Kutztown can respond.
Purple Orb putting up the amplification matrix.
Wow.
Able to
disaster there. Yeah.
Get some ticks on the point.
I am
Kutztown saw Scene in that corner there. They saw Scene, and they couldn't do anything about him. He was in a safe corner with a decently healthy shield, and Eternal Spark made that fateful decision to step in front of that Reinhardt to try to kill him, and unfortunately, it meant he lost. He got pinned through into the enemy team, and that was an instant fight loss.
Oh wow!
There's a three-man.
Picked off, and Purple Orb with that giant Earth Shatter from Lazy Turtle.
Yeah, that was a quick team fight win for Kutztown. That's exactly what you want. That's the best thing you can have. Honestly, you commit one ultimate early, and you just buy yourself that time. It's quick and easy, and it's an honest way to win those kind of fights. So there goes that defensive ultimate from Sunset's Lost. Will be saving her team, but not necessarily her. Scene getting that Earth Shatter canceled by a charge from Lazy Turtle. Don't know if it was intended, but it definitely worked. Molt here with the barrage going up top, looking for something. There's the boop. He's coming in, and he will get caught out again.
Shut down.
Anomaly being the fly swatter this evening, taking her out twice using that ultimate. She's gonna have to be more careful next time.
Tofu forced to use that defensive matrix from Symmetra to cancel out some of that damage from the self-destruct.
Purple Orb, I have to point Purple Orb out. Absolute fragger this evening on the Moira, on the Ana, and now on the BAP. You'll see that name always in the kill feed on the side of Champ Poggers, because this guy plays aggressive. He would rather be shooting than healing, and that's awesome, especially on King Grove. So much damage getting thrown.
Wow, double Earth Shatter right there.
Wow, that was a lot of damage getting traded from those Reinhardts, and Molt caught in the corner with a bull in a China shop.
Again with the freaking instantaneous resurrections, it seems like.
Wow, and Kutztown losing that fight because they lost their supports. You'll see Lindier's the lone surviving of the 4 supports in this game, and because of that, those 2 tanks have enough health with that sustainable beam from Lindier that will keep them alive and capture that point. That's absolutely huge from them. Look at this time bank, Austin. They've got 4.5 minutes left.
They got time enough to spare, that's for sure.
Kutztown getting an early pick on Molt. I don't think that res will be possible this time, as be able to go up there and grab it in a big Earth Shatter, a 4-man from Scene. Scene is just playing back and forth here with Lazy Turtle. Pretty crazy.
57,000 damage, or 5,700, I should say, from Scene so far on this map alone.
Yeah, the damage dealer right now here for Champ Poggers, but I will say the damage is pretty well spread. It's pretty impressive there. Scene going all the way across from spawn door to spawn door, and there's Purple Orb, like I mentioned earlier.
Joshi forced to use his abilities there to kind of get out of that dicey situation there. Kutztown
needs something from this Doomfist from Anomaly, and here he comes in. He's going to use all 3 of his abilities.
Gets flashbang.
Looks like it's not looking great for Kutztown there. A team kill there to end it, and I mean, look at the damage spread. This is super interesting here from Champ Poggers. Everyone has a hand in the damage. Champ Poggers have 4 players that are within, 3 players that are within 200 damage of each other. Both being the tanks and that DPS. This is fun to watch. This is super fun to watch all these players contribute that much damage. Kutztown is way more specialized, you can see.
Lazy Turtle, surprisingly, coming out on top in terms of DPS.
Yeah.
4,700.
Blocking 8,000 of that damage that gets thrown. And we have Joshi, who's healed almost 8,000 as well. This is so much damage. Kingsborough is always famous for long tank focused fights, where there's support ultimates flying left and right because they're healing so often. Purple Orb deciding to throw down those grenades and pick up a gun. If I'm Kutztown, I'm worried about this support if he's the last one alive.
It looks like we're getting a couple swaps from KU here. Fatal Shards going on to the Cassidy and Anomaly going on to the Hanzo. Two heroes who are definitely built for some more precise DPS techniques.
Molt with a great position behind Kutztown decides just to keep the high ground. I mean, this is great Tracer play from him. Will get caught out by Fatal Shards and forced to back up, but he's just going to come right back. And a 5-man Earth Shatter from Lazy Turtle. That was incredibly fast. Reinhardt ultimate charging. That whole fight, Lazy Turtle was in their face. I think Kutztown decided...
a giant team kill on the side of KU. Kind of reversing that situation at the end of the last game.
Yeah, they're getting back here at them on this first point, and they're taking a lot of space here, which is great. They do have this Lucio, they can get out. Champ Hoggers do not have the Lucio, but Kutztown loses theirs. They're going to lose a lot of space here, and Champ Hoggers with these long range, the tank here on the Sigma, Dastardy, and this McCree can take a little bit of space here and keep it Kutztown at a safe range. Molt in the backline again, looking to get some action.
So many shields on the side of Champ Hoggers between the Reinhardt and the Sigma.
That's an important pick for Kutztown. Taking out Purple Orb early means that this healing will be gone.
But it's not going to be there for long because Lindir swoops in with another resurrection, although it gets kicked off once again.
Fights happening in front of the cart, next to the cart, behind the cart here. Absolute madness here in those last minute of fighting here. Kutztown is just a little bit behind pace here from what Champ Hoggers did on second point. They had no trouble getting through that choke point against Kutztown, and now Kutztown fumbling a little bit here. Molt's doing a great job at annoying these backline characters. Fatal Shard's got to have his head on a swivel to protect that Baptiste. And here he is in the back. He's going to be turning around and keeping an eye on it.
Oh, and here comes the Wakatiki from Anomaly.
Yeah, that Dragon Strike finding no one except maybe making a little bit of space for Kutztown to push up here. Lazy Turtle a little too aggressive there in the corner means Kutztown won't have that shield to protect from the High Noon. Sunset Sloth caught behind the cart here will actually live standing behind it. And a 2-man combo, you'll see that a lot in the Overwatch League. Seen catching 2 of Kutztown members with a 200 damage Fire Strike. Unblockable, goes through shields. You just have to get out of the way of that thing. And great coordination from them. And if it wasn't coordinated, then good luck from them. You know, sometimes your team does need a little bit of good luck. Kutztown
already suffering in the health department before this fight really even gets started.
Yeah, Kutztown playing on the corner with these Reinhardts. Fatal Shard's making a lot of space with this ultimate. You'll see these shields break in just a second, and there goes the shield and the man behind it. The Reinhardt will fall early, and there goes a stun onto that ultimate from Dastardy. Will stop that Gravitic Flux in its tracks, and now Kutztown has the red carpet.
Be one of the only survivors of that interaction right there. Forced to retreat. Kutztown is able to make the push to the second point.
I do like this switch here from Tofu off the, Molt off of the Tracer onto an Ashe. If they can win this fight, this means a lot for Champ Hoggers. They can win a few more if they win this one. They have a lot of ultimates halfway baked, and they also have an Ashe they can put on the high ground. But Kutztown says, let's go! You want to stand there? Let's go! And looks like Champ Hoggers will trade evenly with their aggressive push from the tanks.
Eternal Spark making a nice amount of space with that self-destruct. Unfortunately, not a lot of team members from Kutztown to follow up on that.
Yeah, they did die early, and with those closer respawns that Champ Hoggers has, they're just going to be a stronger fighting force there.
Another Wakatiki from Anomaly, not able to find much off of it. But Fatal Shards absolutely ravaging the other team with that High Noon. What was that? 4 or 5?
I'm speechless.
4 or 5 picks on that one High Noon.
Oh, that was 5. That was a 5-man High Noon. Now those are rare in this game. I mean, that ultimate is it's hard to get anything with, and
it's very slow.
Yeah, it puts you in a position that is incredibly vulnerable, and oftentimes it's used to reload instead. You know, you could cancel it right away, but Fatal Shard standing on the cart, and with the help from Lazy Turtles, Earthshatter will find 5 to cleanly close out the end of that map, and only 2 seconds behind the time that the Champaggers, the Northeastern Champaggers, put down. So that was a very good map, very vaudable for both teams. I think the biggest thing right now that we're seeing is mid-fight madness, and you'll see this a lot with tier 3 teams, those collegiate teams, is they may be together at the beginning of a team fight, but right at the end of a team fight and right in the middle of the team fight when ultimates start flying, you'll see them separate and you'll see them stop focusing on the same character, and that is what separates good collegiate teams from great collegiate teams. If you can keep that focus fire on that same target that everyone else is shooting at, you will be the better team.
Looks like we've got a couple of sub-ins from the side of Kutztown. Oko and DJ Travis coming in to fill out the lineup here with a Baptiste and a Sigma.
Yeah, we'll see a swap from that Diva player, Eternal Spark, over to Oko. I'm wondering what kind of characters Oko prefers over that Diva, especially on this map. I mean, Diva does get a little bit of value here, getting to chase off of the high grounds, but looks like Kutztown doesn't really want to do that right now.
Yeah, maybe trying to capitalize on a more defensive mindset, kind of stationary defensive mindset like Champaggers was utilizing on some of the earlier maps.
We have, if Champaggers keeps this composition, this will have been maybe the weirdest combination of characters I have ever seen in Overwatch. Yeah, we've
DPS combination there from the Junkrat and the Tracer.
Yeah, we've got a Bap, Lucio, Junk, Tracer. I mean, the Ryan Zarya, if only, you know, it was a Wrecking Ball instead, you know, would have been a little weirder. So they do keep this composition. Tofu looks like he's going for a triple bomb here.
Oh,
1, 2, 3, right onto Kutztown, and won't find much damage. Will hit one shot and force Kutztown a little bit further back. But I mean, I love it. I love the attempt.
More positioning than anything else, you know, if you ask me.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and that's an important resource. You know, space is definitely a resource in this game. Tofu not finding much damage, but will find a little bit of space for his team with that little bit of a funky play that I love. That was great.
I remember when they first introduced the double mines, everybody trying to figure out different wacky things that they could set up with it. It's a lot of fun.
I can tell that Tofu has practiced that before because he's looked very confident going over the top there, and we saw the Zarya bubble from Dastardy to maybe stop any stuns or any one-shots that Kutztown had to throw against him. And so I hope we can see this again, maybe if they have enough space to do it. But it looks like Tofu will be playing a bit of a ground game now. Look at this, the ult charge here. We did see a swap from the Reinhardt and the Zarya, but Purple Orb
along the sides of Kutztown's defensive matrix here. Got a 77% charge on that ultimate collision. Gets picked off while dashing in.
That was a great pressure that Kutztown put onto Purple Orb there. They saw in these past maps how much damage this Baptiste player can do. And they said, well, we can't allow that. And so what they did was they put a lot of pressure on him early when he went up there and used the amplification matrix and forced him to put down that immortality field, which shortly got killed following him. Now Kutztown's just looking really on top so far.
They've got 6 ultimates on board versus the Champaggers 2 with the Junkrat and the Tracer.
Any VoD watchers, skip 20 seconds from now and see how many ultimates Kutztown has. If it's 4 or more, I'm gonna be very impressed with their trigger finger here. Looks like we may spend most of those 20 seconds resetting here.
Molt trying to get something off with that pulse bomb on Lazy Turtle, but the fortification is gonna end up negating a lot of that damage.
Yeah, Lazy Turtle doing a great job with these Orisa. These Orisa pulls are incredibly valuable for their team. I can tell they're coordinating shots with the Hanzo and the Ashe with this Orisa pull.
Oh wow, big dive from Scene right here, as well as Dastardy on D.Va. Lazy Turtle in a bit of a bad position there with the biotic grenade on him, but Molt and Scene managed to get picked off in that interaction. Dastardy falls as well.
Anomaly now really pulling some of the weight for Kutztown on this map with these final blows. Really taking these guys out, but you'll see Fatal Shards dealing more damage, but you'll see Anomaly maybe getting more kills here. Just the nature of the way these characters are designed. More frequent shots from Fatal Shards means you can probably get more final blows here. Hack onto the Mercy pretty early. There's no one to follow up because Kutztown rocks that Winston in midair.
Here
Last seconds here.
Wakatiki getting both Purple Orb and Scene in the crossfire. Tofu is forced to hang back behind the payload, but Kutztown is occupied with the Dastardy and Scene.
Yeah, I'm not sure quite if Kutztown just can't deal with Mercy Resurrects right now, or if Lindir is just so good at finding good opportunities to resurrect. Either way, resurrects are happening and it's buying them more time. That was a great defense from Kutztown. I mean, this long-range composition they've built with these tanks, getting a lot of damage off on these Orisa pulls, means that it's hard for them to even get around the corner if they want to push this cart. So, a great example of a good defense here from Kutztown. Hopefully they can get past this first point themselves. I think the swap from Eternal Spark to Oko has been interesting so far. Oko's a great presence as an off tank so far. I know Eternal Spark doesn't necessarily practice Sigma too much, so I'm sure Oko's really the specialist, if you will, for that Sigma play on Kutztown's side. Looks like we'll see it again on offense.
And like you said, he's doing a great job in that off-tank role. He's actually second place in terms of damage on Kutztown's side. 4,100 damage on that Sigma so far. Only the Ashe is outpacing him.
Yeah, that Ashe Fatal Shards with just about 100 damage more. That's what I would expect to see if a team was playing a little bit closer, right? That Sigma definitely does not have the range that an Ashe does, but Fatal Shards just getting those final blows for his team while damage boosted, looks like. We're going to see a similar idea on defense here from the Champaggers, a bit of a long-range double shield composition where these teams are going to try to break each other's shields and then pull each other with this Orisa pulse. People at home, you're going to want to look for those big green orbs flying across the screen. There's one right now on the scene, and he gets put to about half health, but Kutztown down 2 players now. Anomaly in the drink, and Tofu finding that opening pick there on the Fatal Shards.
Joshi falling victim into that interaction as well, which means they don't have their healers up either.
Yeah, we saw Joshi, Sunset Sloth last map getting switched out for DJ Trav. He's been doing a pretty good job on the BAP so far, kind of staying with his tanks, being in the back, right, being a more conservative BAP player, and that's what you got to do with this composition if you want to be a good sustainable resource for your team.
I got a little bias for the kid because he's on my Smash team as well.
Yeah, we can. We could save the Smash shoutouts for, you know. Don't plug your own team on here right now. Kutztown pushing up here pretty good. They're catching these players out one by one. You'll see if you rewatch that fight, a lot of players getting caught out on their own without a shield. And that's when you die in this composition. It's a double shield composition, and obviously if you're not in front of either of those shields, you're playing a no shield composition, and now you're completely caught out. So Kutztown taking advantage of those out of position players, taking an early high ground here.
Right into this building with a big close quarters battle happening right here. Right
so many
between
ults.
These two hallways in this balcony here.
Yeah, we saw big Gravitic Flux opening from Bastardy that just didn't come to fruition with any follow-up damage. And these pulls from Lazy Turtle alone are getting more value than a lot of the ultimates.
Purple Heart getting picked out there. Depriving Champ Poggers of one of their healers. Molt falling as well. Bastardy is extremely low right now.
Survive for a little while here, but that train just keeps moving here. Kutztown is getting a lot of free, almost uncontested space on the cart. They just haven't found their footing on defense here so far. Kutztown's kind of rolling through them. They feel very comfortable on this map. Lindir finally off of the Mercy now onto a Zenyatta. We haven't seen Zenyatta from him so far tonight. A lot of ultimates though on their side.
Yeah, they've got the Transcendence, and well, Molt did have the high noon, but he got called out by Kutztown.
Gonna have to, so far, give a big shout out to Lazy Turtle. The aim on that Orisa and those pulls, probably great communication from him to get all these damage in. Is just kind of outplaying Scene right now on the Orisa. We saw them go back and forth a lot on the Reinhardt. But now that they're on Orisa, we see Lazy Turtle shining a little bit more. Maybe it's his DPS coordination, maybe it's his communication with his pults, but who knows? Right now it's working for Kutztown. Catching one in that Gravitic Flux. Kutztown not finding any to follow up with it, but Dastardy finding 3 on the inside here, maybe 4. That's a lot of damage for Kutztown, but DJ Trabs again playing back, playing safe. Keeping his team up from a distance will keep them alive for a little bit longer. Dastardy eating that Hanzo Dragon Strike from Anomaly. Though that's a rare kill feed message for the Champ Poggers here from the Northeast. Very barren. The ult economy right now is very barren. Maybe 1 ultimate, maybe 2 for this team fight.
Yeah, Lazy Turtle coming up on 95% here. Tofu on the other side at 97.
Yeah, we might see a hallway get stuffed with a Dragon Strike very soon here. This is a dangerous position for Kutztown. I'd love to see where it comes. And here it comes. Oh, he gets stunned by the rock, but it doesn't matter. He got it off in time, and there it
comes
goes.
Out and manages to find 4 kills.
That is a nice and clean team fight win for them. Although they probably would have wished they gotten at least an ultimate or 2 out of Kutztown before they lost that fight. But that was a bit of a Hanzo dream there. To see 6 players in that hallway when you have that ultimate animation appear. I'm sure he's licking his lips at that opportunity, and it turned out to, very positive for him. He managed to get 4 with it.
You cannot contest that giant dragon bursting through the walls. When it's coming to you, it's coming to you. There's nothing you can do about it.
Kutztown with an opening pick on the Lindir means that defensive Zenyatta Transcendence is not going to be there for them. And that would have helped a lot through that Gravitic Flux, but they just didn't have it. Great Bob position here. Forces all these players back through this choke, and maybe catching out Tofu. It will catch out Tofu there. Kutztown's up a couple players. Joshi going in with the Mercy Gat will get taken down with the Fly Swatter of the Deadeye from Molt. Lindier with a
Walking
last.
back onto the Junkrat.
Yeah, this is an interesting gadget pick. Maybe just looking for that hero play here. Molt will find one with Lindier's help.
DJ Travs and Purple Lord both popping their immortality fields to try to help their teams win this chaotic team fight at the end of the map here. Team switching off to the Wrecking Ball to try to maybe get some more crowd control and utility from their tank pick.
Yeah, a great recovery there. It was slipping from them, falling out of their hands, but now the Champagers will be switching off of these stall characters onto something more comfortable. We saw Dastardly come out on a Sigma and stall alone for a few seconds there. I mean, imagine out of all the characters that you have, the Sigma being the one to touch point and save the map.
Bolt switching off to a Reaper.
I really do like this composition here from them, but this early pick might mean disaster for them. Looks like they're going to be recovering here a little bit. Kutztown doesn't have time to dilly-dally like this. They've got 15 seconds left, and they've got 3 players respawning and 3 players about to die. It's bad news for them, but Joshi
making a little blunder there, deploying his immortality field maybe a little bit too far forward in that interaction, causing the Kutztown team to kind of be lost.
Yeah, great finisher boop there from Champagers will force Lazy Turtle off of the point, off of the opportunity to get there. I'm gonna have to give MVP, at least on Kutztown's side, a Lazy Turtle this match. Kutztown pushing so far forward.
Big dragon arrow from Tofu right there, right in that hallway.
Oko was just a couple frames too late with that accretion to stop that Hanzo ultimate. I mean, you know, what if we lived in the alternate timeline where that didn't happen? We're going to be looking quickly at a replay here from Rialto. I mean, Kutztown, a great showing on that map despite not getting the 3rd point. Their defense was really shining big. So morale's very important in collegiate Overwatch, and I mean, even though they were held at first point there by Kutztown, they probably did feel very good holding Kutztown at 3rd point there, especially with that last second stall. I mean, Dastardly alone on point with the Sigma, and Kutztown just unable to clean him up. I can't get that picture out of my head. It's
yeah, maybe a little bit embarrassing for them. Maybe that's why we see, could just be speculation on my part, but maybe that's why we see those 2 players that they subbed in the last match get subbed in again. Eternal Spark and Sunset Sloth coming back in for the Nepal map.
Yeah, maybe those players very well practiced on Rialto, and now that we're on a bit of a more grimy, bit of a more hectic map, like King of the Hill on Nepal will be, maybe they want these more versed players because these maps switch, and you have a very high variation in what these maps look like, right? With Rialto, it's pretty outside most of the time. You have long range high grounds you can sit on most of the time. Maybe they want those, maybe they want Trav in, and maybe they want Oko in because they know that they can do well in the entirety of the map. But I mean, this is a scrim at the end of the day, and what you do here is all practice, right? You want to try new things, experiment with new strategies. It's not really about who does better on these maps. The people who really win are the teams that learn more, and I cannot stress that enough, especially if you're looking to get into competitive Overwatch. If you're not doing well in scrims, it doesn't mean you're not going to do well in tournaments. So keep your head up, really. We have seen a lot of back and forth tonight so far. I think this last map that the Northeastern Champagers went against Kutztown was probably their worst showing, but I mean, they have had a lot of other maps that were a lot closer, and also maps they've won on. So We have a bit of a delay here. The teams are going to be busting out in just a second here. We see a soldier on the side of Kutztown. I expect they won't keep that Symmetra, but that soldier will be staying.
Yeah, possibly that pick by Anomaly in an attempt to get their team on the point a little bit quicker than the Champ Hoggers. Although they end up arriving around the same time anyway.
Yeah, that Lucio on the side of the Champ Hoggers getting them there almost at the same time, but Kutztown's getting a bit of a foothold on this point here with the Symmetra. You do not want the Symmetra to be alive for any longer than you can help. She is the biggest threat on the field right now because the longer she's alive, the more DPS she can do. And Champ Hogger's pushing through, trying to take her out, but it looks like they're instead going to remove the utility from the Symmetra first, and then get rid of the Symmetra. Fatal Shard, the last remaining player, will escape with his life. Pretty good fight there. Pretty good fight. They got what they wanted, and you look at the ultimates on the side of Champ Hoggers, they're already like 50% more charged than Kutztown's are. Kutztown might be pushing in here without a teleporter.
Another Dragon Strike coming out from the Champ Hoggers, but doesn't manage to find anybody in its crosshairs. Tofu coming out with the high noon. Let's see if he can get anything off of it other than maybe a quick reload.
You'll see Molt here, I mean, with the positioning from Kutztown's tanks, it's just going to go crazy on him. It's going to find a lot of damage from players that are just standing barely outside of their safe zone from that Reinhardt. And we also saw Eternal Spark lose that mech incredibly early, and that's bad news for Kutztown because it means they can't stay in that spot for very long. They don't have that defense matrix at their disposal. We'll see a high ground battle here from Fatal Shards and Molt. Molt pushing Fatal Shards, doesn't know he's there. Nothing doing on their side, rotating back to the team fight here. Molt got a great angle on Kutztown's backline. Can he get anything from it? Looks like he may not even need it.
Eternal Spark and Joshi on the point from Kutztown's end. Now Fatal Shards is the only remainder. Manages to get taken out by the absolute mass of bodies that the Champ Hoggers employed.
Yeah, Lindier with that great Lucio game sense will go back and taxi that McCree back. A very slow character, but you'll see Kutztown is here already. It's a 4v6 for a couple of seconds. Kutztown wants to press W here, and they won't.
Anomaly coming out with that giant defensive matrix here from the Symmetra.
Fatal Shards just jamming this tactical visor in the faces of the Champ Hoggers. Got denied that high ground from Lol.
With the Lucio boost, giving them a little bit of healing, a little bit of shield to finally take some claim on this point.
Yeah, protected the team for just long enough so that they could get in there, but now this is going to be without a Lucio speed boost here. They need to use Lucio speed boost here to get in, or this Symmetra is just going to destroy the tanks. Kutztown just has more upfront damage with the Symmetra and this soldier. I mean, Hanzo is a lot of shield damage, but we have Tofu on the flank here. Might find Fatal Shards out with this McCree ult.
Oh wow, absolutely great positioning from Tofu there. Unfortunately, does not find anything off of that high noon ult pop. He had the right idea, you know, trying to sneak up on Kutztown from that higher position. I don't think they realized he was there until the first line played.
Yeah, we saw great rotation from them. They did, as they approached the point, we saw them split into a group of 3 and 3 to try to stave off these...
Fatal Shards just standing there, menacingly, in the face of Bastardy.
Every D.Va player's worst nightmare is getting staggered there. Did have an opportunity to run to the edge, but decided to stay there anyway. Kutztown with a couple less ultimates here may struggle to keep this point, and this may be the last fight that Kutztown has an opportunity to win.
Champ Hogger is taking the high ground approach on this offensive push. Molt coming in with a huge Dragon Strike to start things off. Purple Orb and Tofu getting picked off from the side of Kutztown. It looks like this team fight might be swinging in Kutztown's favor here. Fatal Shards with the tactical visor, and Sunset Slaw popping the Lucio boost.
That's great. I mean, that's great play from Fatal Shard so far. 2 tactical visors in 3 fights. Getting a lot of damage, I guess, early out on here on these players while they're pushing up means it's going to have them for those next fights. And Kutztown, after a rocky start on this map, will take the first map on Nepal. I will mention, we have a couple, you know, there's a interesting debate in the community whether you should be staggering D.Va or anyone really in the scrim. I've heard arguments against doing it out of respect, but honestly, practicing staggering is very important. Using your abilities and making that quick communication switch to stagger a D.Va is something that you do need to practice, and it's not, I don't think Kutztown, I can guarantee you they mean nothing disrespectful out of it, except they want that practice for doing that in the future. I mean, it's an incredibly valuable thing to do, as you're just buying your team raw time, right? Keeping that D.Va from respawning and slowing that group up back even further. So we'll probably see a teleport out from both teams here. I do like the Mei a lot on the side of the Northeastern Champagers. Excuse me.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I would say that's a pretty good pick for their offensive line here. Maybe not on this particular map, but we'll see what coaches can manage to come up with here.
One player off Anomaly, but he was a little late to the party anyway, and so we're just gonna see Kutztown winning the fight up front and with better focus fire from this first
getting
fight.
Called out all by themselves here.
Yeah, I mean, the damage numbers, I mean, Lazy Turtle has 70% on that Earth Shatter already, just pressing W so hard, dealing so much damage, and with that damage comes a lot of healing. You'll see Purple Orb has 75% as well. To that Amplification Matrix. We might see an Amplification Matrix combo. If we see a fight break out on the point here, we're going to see a teleport here from Molt. Try to get them right to the point instead of having to push through here. They do have a Lucio. I mean, they could opt just to save the teleporter and instead Lucio speed boost onto the point. But
they do have the teleporter down, placing it down right by the first gate and right on that corner of the point there. Looks like they're able to get some pretty good utility out of that teleporter.
Yeah, I mean, they're starting to win this fight.
4 picks from the Kutztown side. Anomaly, Fatal Shards. Now Joshi falling as well, Eternal Spark.
Yeah,
and the Champ Hoggers are able to take back this point.
They do, the Champ Hoggers do the mid-fight recovery very well. I mean, that's something you see from good teams. But I'm impressed with what I've seen so far with that exact strategy of just taking a breather in the middle of the fight, healing back up, and going back in. They're great at coordinating that. You see Molt almost caught out of position here, and he will get out just barely. Kutztown doing a good job of staying together. Purple Orb caught out in a 5-man Earth Shatter from Scene will mean that Kutztown just is in shambles right now.
Eternal Spark forced to kind of employ that self-destruction and in order to try to get something happening on the side of KU, but Champ Hoggers doing an absolutely great job there getting a team kill.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Eternal Spark really wanted to. I'm sure he's wishing that you know, they had that ultimate right now, because it didn't really do much at the end there, maybe just forced a couple players out of position, but Purple Orb might get caught out here, forced to use that Immortality Field early. It means Kutztown will have theirs, and Champ Hoggers will not.
Dastardly coming in with a self-destruct of her own, taking down Sunset Sloth and Lazy Turtle.
Wow, a great chaotic throw from Dastardly there. Just decided, you know what, I'm not going to wait any longer. I'm just going to chuck this self-destruct right in the middle of Kutztown, and I'm just going to see how they react. And, you know, it was so chaotic that Kutztown had to spread out in a way that made them out of position right in front of the tank line of Champ Hoggers. And so, I mean, it was a good use of it. It really helped them out.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what they were hoping for from that play there. Trying to just prevent Kutztown from touching that point as much as possible.
Anomaly with the hero play, unfortunately does not pan out for him, but a big Earth Shatter will mean a couple players down. Wow, Kutztown wiped off of the floor with the broom of the Earth Shatter that was given to them by Lazy Turtle. I mean, a dominant showing after a fairly even match on that first one. I can tell that they're more
kill
comfortable.
on the side of Champhoggers, though. That was absolutely unreal.
Yeah, we saw them. They were pretty comfortable at the beginning of the first map. The second map now looking very comfortable in this composition. I'm expecting them to ditch the Mei. Mei is not gonna do them a lot of justice here on this third point of Nepal. But I mean, Kutztown's got to be playing this like it's real. I mean, it's 1-1 right now on a Koth map that they're probably going to be playing in these collegiate matches, and so they got to be playing hard right now. Tofu showing
popping off to the Hanzo here, maybe trying to get some purchase with some quick shots, or maybe the scanner arrow. Mole switching off to Hanzo as well.
Yeah, there isn't a lot of significance of taking high ground on this map. You'll see players in Overwatch League take it and get rid of it. It's really not a great spot. It's pretty low on the tier list of high grounds, and so that Hanzo pick means his wall climb really isn't that useful. You see Anomaly will switch off. The thing that you do get value out of with Hanzo here is these long hallways where you can just have an opportunity to headshot someone, you know, and we'll see Mult keep the Hanzo, but Anomaly will switch off.
Sunset Sloth switching off to the Brigitte here. Maybe trying to capitalize on that shield. Maybe trying to go for some sort of a play with Rallying Cry on the points at some point.
This is perfect positioning here for the Champhoggers. They've gotten 2 picks, one very late, one very early, and so now they have a lot of extra time here to push in without using many resources or risking any players dying. Dastardy doing a really great job on this Wrecking Ball so far, being that disruptive force he needs to be.
Yeah, they got great positioning here as well. You know, they've claimed the point. They're able to kind of just hang out in that little Nepal hallway, and if they ever do need to contest that point for whatever reason, if somebody on Kutztown manages to get past their defenses, they can kind of just drop behind there and get on the point pretty quickly.
You see a couple ultimates thrown out here on Kutztown side to no avail, where there's fights happening almost everywhere. Supports are battling, tanks are battling. I mean, there's so much happening. Players are falling off of the map. This is not looking great.
Classic feature of this map, especially this point right here, is all of the shenanigans that go on with trying to knock your opponents off of the map.
Yeah, we saw Kutztown. I could see it in their eyes, and in their play. They're very stressed right now. They need to recenter here if they want to get anything done. So far, this has not been a good showing for them on Nepal, despite winning that first map.
Molt coming in with that giant Wakatiki manages to find 4 kills. Eternal Spark falling right afterwards in that last team interaction. Lazy Turtle finds himself called out as well, and the Champhoggers have found themselves yet another team kill. That's the 3rd in this scrim.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, Kutztown is in shambles right now on point. I mean, they don't have any ultimates. They have players that have died already. I mean, we do have a pick from Eternal Spark here, and a good Pulse Bomb is a lot of damage out onto Champhoggers, but I mean, that Immortality field is going to be saving them from the respawn room.
The Sigma ultimate from Steam.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on Kutztown, especially when they had no healers there. I mean, Kutztown's not dead yet. I mean, they've captured this point, and now they've got a 3 versus 1 on point. Somehow, they've clawed their way back after the start of that a horrible start to that team fight. They somehow are still playing.
At the absolute last second, they somehow found the will to contest that point finally.
They must have just turned their monitors on for that last team fight. It looks like they've opened their eyes to, you know, a couple of players in front of them. Another Pulse Bomb already available from Fatal Shards, won't find any. That was charged incredibly fast. Eternal Spark will lose that mech early, and now Champ Augur's slowly winning.
Wrecking Ball ults. All of the mines are now on the point. A big obstacle for Kutztown, just to kind of navigate around those if they want to contest.
Yeah, I mean, after that, I mean, I have to look at that team fight that Kutztown won as kind of a mistake from the Champ Augurs instead of a win from Kutztown, because they, I mean, showing dominance on that last push there, they're very comfortable in these characters. I could tell Kutztown is a little stressed out. I'm going to be taking a quick bathroom break. Austin, if you could just keep the people entertained for a minute, I'll be right back.
I'll be the people's champion for now. Okay, so right now we got a replay of Fatal Shards using that Soldier Tactical Visor. We saw in that last game, he managed to get at least 2 of those Soldier Ultimates on deck to use against the Champ Augurs, managing to get quite a bit of damage for the side of KU against the Champ Augurs. You know, finding them some time, finding them some opportunity to keep hold of that point for perhaps a little bit longer. Next game is about to start. Looks like we're going to be on Eichenwald here. Interesting map choice. I don't believe we saw this last week in last week's Scrim. But I really do like this map just from a aesthetic standpoint. I love the castles and the ruined buildings and everything around here. Lots of little areas to have interactions. You know, lots of places to find vantage points from. We see on the Champ Augurs side, Molt going with the Pharah pick here. I think that's an absolutely great choice for this kind of map. There's a lot of open real estate in the skies of Eichenwald. Although we see Anomaly on the Hanzo, Fatal Shards picking on the Mei actually. Anomaly switching to the Cassidy. Both characters that can kind of call that kind of character out. Molt will need to be very careful with their positioning. Maybe having Lindier as that pocket Mercy, the classic Pharah Mercy combo, the pharmacy, if you will. They're gonna need to stick together quite a lot in order to maximize the utility of that pick there from the Champ Augurs.
I do love the idea here. I'm a bit of an expert of Pharah on Eichenwald, and I can say it's a sleeper pick for sure. Molt,
I don't know if I would say it's a sleeper pick.
Well,
I love Pharah on this map because so much open air, so much space, and so many opportunities to just douse the opposing team in splash damage.
Yeah, I mean, shooting the backline here is exactly what Molt wants to be doing, exactly what Molt is doing. This first point is just so much fun for Pharah, right? This big clock tower in the middle makes for great, incredible vertical cover. Lindier sitting in a place I've never seen a player sit in. VoD Watchers rewind. The Mercy there standing on a corner I don't think has been discovered yet.
They got the classic Pharah Mercy combo on deck. I absolutely love it, especially on this map. Just one of my favorites to both play and watch. And Lindier coming in absolutely handy with that resurrection there. She doesn't want her partner in crime to be down for too long.
Yeah, we did see Molt. Here comes Molt in with that ultimate once again. We saw Molt play the Pharah on King's Row earlier tonight, but I think the biggest place that Molt had faltered with the Pharah play was the ultimate usage. We saw Molt go down twice to that McCree anomaly, and now with anomaly on McCree again, I mean, he's got to be sweating a little bit. I mean, the second point is not as easy for Pharah. There isn't as many high grounds for Pharah to kind of manipulate around like that big clock tower is on the first point. No ultimate for Molt right now. We do see a nano boost. I'm curious where Purple Orb's gonna put this. There isn't many great characters for this. It may just be a defensive ultimate for Dastardy if he gets too low on health. Kutztown taking a double hit scan high ground position here against this Pharah means it's gonna be trouble for this Pharah. It's gonna be difficult to get value, especially with McCree. Has gotten that McCree out.
Gets kicked off. Fatal Shard's getting dangerously low as well. I think Lindier and Molt are doing an absolutely fantastic job. Absolutely farming everything they can get out of this classic combo.
Yeah, I can tell that Molt has switched up the playstyle a little bit, is playing a lot safer against Anomaly. You'll see probably learned their lesson from King's Row and is now taking advantage of maybe some overly aggressive Cassidy play from Anomaly.
Fatal Shard coming in with that May Blizzard ultimate, trying to get some real estate for Kutztown on the payload here before the Champ Augers break through that big Icon Wall gate. And they're
like
able
they're
to do so.
Blocking it. Yeah, Kutztown really not showing a lot of resistance so far. Molt keeping the Pharah on this third point here. This is the place, if you were to switch, that you're going to want to switch because you just can't get behind, can't get a good angle. The off angles are very difficult to maintain here for Pharah, and so I'm expecting a swap here if they do lose this fight. Wow, a great
Big
combo
ultimate
there.
From Fatal Shards, excuse me, Eternal Spark there. Managing to get Purple Orb and Tofu in the blast zone.
Yeah, capitalized on that Earth Shatter from Lazy Turtle that he laid out so nicely. And there goes Molt. I'm expecting, wow, will kill the
Lindy
Mercy.
coming in again with the resurrections.
I think that may be one of the first times we've seen Lindier die while resurrecting this evening. But guess what? Still got the resurrect off, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. She did what she came here to do.
Right.
I would be also satisfied to see if Molt decides to swap off at all. Going to Junkrat in this last push zone here. I think that's an absolutely great pick for this last area here in Eichenwald. Junkrat can make a lot of things happen with those mines, those bouncy grenades in this kind of terrain.
Yeah, we saw at the end of that fight right there, Fatal Shard.
And there he goes, onto the Junkrat. I know this map way too well for my own good. I haven't played this game in, I don't know, like 3 years, but man, I call him when I see him.
Purple Orb that last fight, saving 4 teammates from dying from a pulse bomb from Fatal Shards. A lot of ultimates getting thrown early here, as this Junkrat pick has not shown a ton of damage so far. Kutztown not pressured enough to push back, but we'll see proximity mines get thrown out behind Kutztown's tanks, and now they're forced to back up through these mines, which is working out for them. Molt finding 2 on the end of the damage that was from Dastardy there. And look at Joshi in a bit of a sneaky position here. Will give his position away, shooting Purple Orb. Maybe could have stayed there as a stealth position, but Kutztown's beginning
Molt
to
just
fall
kind
here.
of camping out that top platform. Eternal Spark is forced to use D.Va's movement abilities to try to contest that, but does not manage to do so successfully. Molt is still around. He's got 93% on his ultimate charge. That Riptire is about ready to go off, even in the case that Kutztown manages. And here comes that Riptire.
Yeah, wow. I mean, a little bit of a good stall from Kutztown there. If they were able to maybe get one more player on the point, they would have had a better opportunity to actually flip that, just like the Champagers did on Route 66. Now we've got Kutztown on offense here. Now seeing this Pharah be so well utilized from Molt and Lindir, I'm expecting them maybe to either play something well against it or play into it with their own Pharah. I mean, this map on offense and on defense, right? This Pharah on first point can be an absolute menace. On defense, I honestly think it's a better pick, and so after seeing that, you know, now Tofu on defense, playing Pharah, Molt did so well on offense on Pharah that they're saying, well, you know, if it ain't broke and it's still good on first point, let's not fix it.
I absolutely love this character on this map. It's so busted.
We see Purple Orb setting up for a grenade here. Probably watches his ML7 streams. An Ana player famous for these setup nades. And while, you know, you can, I think honestly these nades can be slept on. I think they're a bit of a dark horse, because if you can throw a great nade and land it in the right spot at the right time, you know, not only does your Ana get a lot of ult charge, but it could lead to a team fight win, especially with the composition they have. They have a bit of a jump on you composition with this Pharah and the ball. Wrecking Ball and Pharah is a pretty decent combo, as the knockup can be enough damage with a 200 health character to die from one direct hit. But
they also got the Mercy on Lindir with that damage boost as well, so...
Kutztown kind of flipping the sides here, and now playing on defense as they're on this point. Trying to prevent the Champagers from getting on, but it's just not working. I mean, they got caught out early there. You saw Fatal Shards die pretty quickly there at the start of that fight, and that's really bad news. Without that Mei, I mean, Mei is essentially a third tank. You're slowly going to start to lose that fight. Kutztown
manages to get hacked by Fatal Shards.
Kutztown, I mean, also it manages to get 2 here on this D.Va. Kutztown, I mean, will probably get shut down here with just the, you know, the defensive power of this Pharah ultimate, but I'm starting to eat my words here. Kutztown Anomaly is getting a lot of value here on this McCree.
Was doing a great job trying to clean up house there for the Champagers, but Kutztown manages to edge him out and capture that first point.
Wow, I mean, I did see that last second nade throw from Purple Orb. Purple Orb, if you're watching the VoD, it was a good nade. It landed right on point. Again, probably those ML7 watchers just love those long range grenade throws, and they can be useful.
Wow, absolutely huge Dan arrow there from Molt. Revealing the position of basically every Kutztown player, because they're all huddled up in that hallway there.
Yeah, no one on cart. It's actually moving back towards the point. They did not get this little wall checkpoint here, this mini gate, and now Kutztown's just kind of trying to win a fight where this point isn't even moving.
Wow, huge amount of ults just coming out, one after the other, right on top of that little watchtower there.
Fighting back. I mean, Champagers are not down for the count when they, you know, lose a couple players. Kutztown kind of proving that on first point, and Champagers kind of proving that now. Tofu finding 2 before getting taken down. And now with a lot of help here, Champagers might be able to take out Joshi here. And it looks like they're gonna do that. Kutztown's gonna get caught out here.
From Purple Orb on Lazy Turtle.
It's been so hard to draw a line between team fights being over and started here, as they've been continuous for a while. Eternal Spark demeched and will likely want to just jump off or
die in the process.
Yeah.
Poggers are content to just kind of hang out here, right above this bridge.
I do like this Winston swap last fight from Lazy Turtle as it lets them get up to high ground a little bit quicker. Although the McCree's going to be very slow to get up there, right? We do have the Bap to Lucio who can get up there with him, but you'll see the McCree has to kind of slowly walk up.
From Fatal Shards, but Tofu coming in to try to clean up on behalf of the Champ Hoggers. Eternal Spark and Lazy Turtle falling in that little interaction, but Purple Orb, Molt, and Tofu did not make it out alive.
Lindir making use of Mercy's secondary, which is often forgot about, will take out a member of Kutztown's team before leaving, and Molt finding one out of position Baptiste, that is Joshi, and a humongous beat drop from the top rope from Sunset Sloth. I wish it gave them more shields. But
here comes the Wakatiki from Molt coming through onto the bridge.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing Kutztown just kind of give away. Oh, a sleep dart kill. Oh, it did fly off the edge. Unfortunately, I thought it was a raw sleep dart kill there from Purple Orb, but we're seeing Kutztown just fumble the bag at the goal line, and now they're kind of forced to rethink their strategy here, right? We have the swap from the Cassidy over to the Echo, which I think is a good idea, right? He was struggling to get to high ground, get up there with his team at the same time, and now Kutztown changing another character, right, off of that support line that they just had to an Ana Zen. Although we do have Fatal Shard super far in the back, maybe looking for a bit of a cheeky back cap here. It's gonna start moving the cart, and let's see if anyone notices. No one has noticed so far. We might see a funny number show up here in just a second here. Fatal Shard's getting closer and closer to capping, and no one has turned around.
Molt finally notices that Fatal Shards has just kind of been camping there, hanging out on that payload for about 30 seconds maybe.
Yeah, finding some free real estate on that payload. Luckily, we had Molt in the back line to stop it from happening, but while Molt's back there, Kutztown's winning the frontline battle. It worked out for them. They were down a player and they still ended up winning.
Molt swapping off to the Junkrat here. Again, I absolutely love this character for this point. Whether you're on offense or defense, there's just so much utility you can get from the Junkrat in this position here. The grenades just bounce all over the place. There's tons of places where you can put down your mines and your bear trap. It's just a great pick.
Wow, Fatal Shards.
Huge EMP from Fatal Shards.
Molt with a great little mini flank there.
Up with the self-destruct, but does not manage to find much off of that in particular. Scene falling down to the Earth Shatter or Sleep Dart combinations. Joshi coming out with the Transcendence here, trying to clutch out this last point for Kutztown. But Dastardy, Tofu, and Lindy are making an absolutely menacing trio here.
I mean, we saw Dastardy get hacked early there from Fatal Shards, and then Fatal Shards hacked the remaining 5 players he didn't with that EMP. It just wasn't enough for Kutztown. Having all those players in front of you and hacked apparently wasn't enough for them in that moment. We see a tank swap here from Lazy Turtle over the Reinhardt. Just needs to give his team a little bit more protection from all of the spam damage. We've got a Far ultimate, we've got a Junkrat Riptire. There's so much that's about to happen here, and Molt does get called out.
Has got the Earth Shatter on deck now, but he does manage to get picked off by KU in that interaction. Tofu getting shot down from the Justice as well. Anomaly switches off to the Pharah on this last point, unleashing Justice onto the Champ Loggers there to push that final point.
Wow, I mean, that last push was really anybody's fight. Kutztown managed to scrappy, to win a big scrappy fight there between the two, and we saw some crazy plays there. We saw just enough players on the side of Kutztown and that duplicate from Anomaly to just edge out that fight in Kutztown's favor. A great scrim overall from both teams. I liked watching both play, and I think in just a moment here, we're going to be getting an interview with the captain of Team 2. So we've got this one-man hack and a 5-man EMP that was thrown out at the end there. I mean, a great positioning from him to be able to use that translocator to get up in the air high enough to catch all of those players. We are just working on getting an interview here. One moment.
Hello.
Josh, welcome to the stream. I mean, that was a great scrim. Do you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Hi, I'm Joshy. I'm the Team 2 captain, as well as the main support.
So, I mean, we saw a lot of like adaptation between maps here from your team to the Champ Poggers, if you will, and we saw you guys kind of struggle, at least on Eichenwald there, against that Pharah offense and defense. Do you want to talk a little bit about your strategy going against it?
So we were trying to try out different kinds of comps to see what we could do against that Pharah, and ultimately we did decide on the brawl would be the best decision on that first point, and then diving that second point is very, very major for us, so that we can take that high ground control. We struggled a little bit. I believe that the Sombra helped massively with that against the Pharah and the Mercy.
We did see, I think you guys adopted more of a like let's just forget that the Pharah Mercy are there and just kind of jump on the rest of those characters. We saw Anomaly, your McCree player, kind of show some dominance on King's Row against that Pharah, but now we saw a bit of a flip there on Eichenwald between Anomaly and already am forgetting the name of their DPS player, Molt, who was playing Pharah. That EMP at the end there from Fatal Shards. So you guys experimenting a little bit with Sombra. You want to talk about your strategy a little bit with Sombra gameplay?
Sure. So our strategy, Sombra, is to take more of the health pack control as well as disable their characters. So, for example, they had a ball. Us disabling that ball is very, very massive for us and able to take control of that. I believe you saw that on second point when we were pushing. We were able to hack him and actually catch him out as a big pick.
Yeah, it's a big opener for you guys. It at least gives you a window there to push in without the disruption of that wrecking ball in your back line. Austin, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask what you thought maybe of that last EMP burst. Fatal Shards did an absolutely great job getting the single hack and then the EMP burst on the rest of the 5 players in Champ Poggers. But it didn't look like the rest of your team was there to kind of take advantage of that. What do you think?
Yeah, I can say in our comms it wasn't really called preemptively, so we kind of had to scramble to get up there as fast as we could, and you could see that in the rotate. We did get caught out a little bit. I believe the Pharah caught 2 of us with a barrage because we were struggling to get up there because it was just a little early, unfortunately.
Well, I mean, despite that Eichenwald performance, we saw some great gameplay from Kutztown, some good teamwork from you guys, and some good switches of characters. Right? I mean, Overwatch is a unique game because you can switch characters in the middle of the game, and you guys make use of that pretty well. So, looking forward to spectating you guys more in the future. Thanks for coming on, Josh.
Of course, thanks for having me.
All right. So, thanks for tuning in this evening. My name's Connor. You're watching Now Loading Esports. Come back next week on Monday for some more Kutztown Overwatch action. And if you missed it, check out the VoD from the Smash Ultimate crew battle that happened this past weekend. And have a great evening.